Hi everyone. So we're going to talk about tennis ball releases, a nice effective way to increase mobility along with a whole range of other different things. Nice and simple exercise, but we're just going to go through a few pointers before you get into the workout. So these little things right here, tennis balls, just pick up a normal one. There's no fancy one, it's just what you find at the store. So you're going to have to use one of these during the 6-week mobility course. What they're going to do when we use them, it'll do things like increase your blood flow. It can release endorphins, which can sometimes relieve some pain if you have any. It's also a really nice way to release some mental stretch, because we're also going to talk stress, because we're also going to talk about breathing and how that comes into our tennis balls. Eases muscular tension, which is, what we're all here for. And one of my favorites, it helps the fascia, so it releases it and gives it a nice little sliding motion, which is what we really want from that. Now, if you don't know much about fascia, we can go into that a little bit more down the track, but for now, just know that the tennis balls really help with that, and that it's a connective tissue that runs through our body that we want it to have mobility and sliding, and it's going to help us with all of that sort of stuff. So when we look at the tennis balls, we want to achieve a release by applying the correct amount of pressure. So that's going to be different for everyone. The point will be to apply gentle but firm tension to different parts of the body. So the great thing about this is that you don't have to be in a precise location. You will see on each of the tutorials that there is a picture of the muscle, and there'll be a dot on there. That's the suggested, sort of to give you an idea, but you don't have to try and find that exact place to place the tennis ball. So for example, we've got one that goes under the arm, and the dot will be about here. So you'll place it around there, but you might find that feels better for you, or a little bit lower. It's somewhere around there. So you don't necessarily have to find exactly on the dot, which is really nice because everyone's going to have a different spot. Now the releases can take from between 10 seconds to a few minutes. Most of them will ask you to do for 3 to 5 breaths. If you find one feels really good, then obviously stay on there for a little bit longer if you want to, yeah? You can go 10, 20 breaths, completely up to you. And you'll find out why we do it by breaths rather than timing later on. I'll have a chat to you about that. But some pointers that we want to stay away from. So we want to stay away from tennis ball on bone. So if it feels like it's really poking in, you're not just going to drop. This one's a great example actually, because you've got your ribs right here. So, and we do it lying on the floor. So you'll see that we're sort of holding ourselves up a little bit. We're not going to drop directly into the tennis ball when it's bone on bone. Same with anything on your hips. If it's on your hips, you're not going to drop directly onto it there. We don't want to catch any nerves either. So if you get some sensations that feel sharp, there's some shooting or radiating pain, you'll need to move the tennis ball somewhere else. That's not the point of what this is. Anything swollen. So if you've got an injury and you've got some swollen, swollen muscles or tissues or anything going on, then you definitely don't want to do your tennis ball releases on there. You shouldn't be wincing, gritting your teeth. The point is to relax, so it should be very gentle. And look, if we do get too much pain, then it's going to irritate your nervous system, send signals to your brain to tighten up rather than release, and goes against what we're trying to do. We can also start to release, our brains will also start to associate the tennis ball releases with pain. It's going to become less effective for you and not quite as pleasurable. This should feel quite nice. So before we go into our tennis ball releases, I want you to watch this little video that I've made up before. The full video is about connection breath, but I've just taken out the part where we talk about breathing in all directions. So it's this 3D model of breathing. Just check that out. Have one hand down low, one hand up a bit higher, and I want you to breathe in to that lower hand and out and in and out. Imagining our pelvic floor is coming up every time we breathe out. So we breathe in, we breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Really think about pulling up, thinking about expanding through the front and the back. About 60% through here, 40% into the back. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Time to check the sides. One hand on either side. Trying to get even breath through each side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so that's the kind of breathing we want to think about when we're doing our tennis ball releases. So I said to you before, we do our tennis ball releases in breaths rather than timing. This is because with timing, sometimes you get focused on the number of the timer or counting the timer, right? And I want you to focus on your breath. So you're going to breathe in and out. That out breath is all the relaxation. You're going to breathe in and then breathe out and relax into that ball. So every time you breathe on the out breath, that's relaxing further into that ball, into that tennis ball. So the main points are, you're going to find in your workout different positions for your tennis ball. There's no right or wrong. It's just a suggestion of whereabouts you could put it. Find a spot that you feel like it needs to be released, but it's not painful. There's no sharpness. There's no shooting or radiating pain going on there. And then you're going to, if you need to, prop yourself up off the tennis ball a little bit if it's too much. Relax into it slowly by using your breaths. So breathing in, breathing out, and relaxing into it. Going to do each one 3 to 5 times. Staying around for a bit longer if it feels really good and you feel like you need a bit more of a release. That's your tennis ball releases. Just keep breathing. I'm going to pop a couple on the end of this video for you to try now.